right, let's get to the latest on Idalia. The impacts, once again, you could see as we start to have a little bit more of a bumpier ride for Wednesday into Thursday. Right now, still looking okay. Hurricane Idalia now starting to show a little bit more of a redefined circulation, 85-mile-per-hour winds, and as we were talking about, expected to make a landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, tropical storm conditions for our area. So let's go ahead and start with what you can expect throughout the day. A couple of showers may be possible for the morning and through the afternoon, but this will not be the main bands. Keep in mind, though, it would be additional rainfall for the area. So we'll keep an eye on a couple of those scattered showers. The bulk of this, including the wind, comes late in the evening as we go into the forecast on Wednesday. Right now, here's 4 p.m. Notice still plenty of dry time. Winds start to pick up, though, as we go toward 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, heavy rain, winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour starting to show up, and that continues as we head into 11 and the early morning. It's the early morning where some of these pockets of heavy rain are really dropping some decent totals. We're getting some isolated gusts of 50 miles per hour, and we're also looking at a tornado threat that develops Wednesday evening and into the overnight. By 5 o'clock, there's the center of circulation right over top of the area. And then, of course, we're starting to see the backside of that. Can't rule it out. A couple of strong winds, still 30 to 45 miles per hour in that forecast. Once again, tropical storm watches, they're out. Georgetown, Horry County, you're under a tropical storm watch. Williamsburg County, that includes you, as we are going to be looking at these impacts increasing. First and foremost, it is going to be a rainmaker, 4 to 6 inches of rain, a good bet for most of us, and some flash flooding is possible as we're going through some of those areas. Coastal flooding, the surge plus king tides, something we have to keep an eye on, but I think I will be able to ease your mind just a little bit when we get to that. Let's talk about the wind first, though. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Florence, Marion, Dillon at 35, along the beaches, 45 to 50. New, we've updated a little bit faster wind speeds for further inland areas. We've also increased the rain for a little bit further inland as well. 4 to 6 inches of rain in Florence, Marion, Dillon, Lake City, Aner, Green Sea, Loris, Long, 0 and 4 to 6 inches. And notice still a hefty 3 to 5 inches of rain across portions of the I-95 corridor. We've been dry. We can handle that, not anticipating any sort of river flooding. Of course, where the heavy rain sets up, it's where our strongest storms are. It's also where the tornado potential is going to be as we head into Wednesday evening and the overnight hours on your Thursday. Surprisingly, it's also where your level 2 severe weather risk is for tomorrow, as we're going to be keeping an eye on those strong storms rotating onshore that could pose a tornado threat. Meanwhile, I do want to talk about the coastal flooding. Hopefully to ease your mind here, the surge forecast 1 to 3 feet. Right now, the forecast calling for 7.4 feet in Myrtle Beach. You'll notice previous surge heights and actual tide heights nowhere near that. Isaias was 9.8. And the reason we're going to look at a lower tide and surge forecast is notice the strongest surge going to be coming in with the strongest winds as our tide is falling into the overnight hours. So some good news there. To put that into better perspective, notice as we go toward 8 o'clock, high tide should be roughly around 8 p.m. area wide. We'll go into that, and the winds, they're still strong, but the strongest winds don't arrive until the early morning hours as we go into your Thursday forecast.